Lisa Romano here, the Breakthrough Life Coach, and in today's video, we are going to be discussing how to make a man fall in love with you. Well, sort of. I received a letter on YouTube from a woman named Angelica, and yes, I have permission to use her name. And it states, "Dear Miss Romano, my name is Angelica. I am from California. I am 33 years old and have never had a serious relationship. I have a narcissistic dad who has always been an alcoholic, and my mom is very codependent. My dad has had multiple affairs, and my mom always forgave him. My dad has always had something negative to say about my body. For example, he talks about my breasts. He says, 'Your breasts are too small, and no man is ever going to want you because of their size.' I have dated and have had sex, but never with someone that I could consider a serious partner. Can you help me understand how I can get a man to fall in love with me in spite of my faulty childhood programming, as you call it? Yes, you can use my name. I am ready to heal once and for all. I love you and really believe you want to help narcissistic abuse victims like me." Well, thank you for writing me, Angelica. And, I have to be totally transparent with you. When I first got your email, I was like, I'm not answering that letter. I'm not doing a video on how to make a man fall in love with you because it goes against pretty much everything that I teach. I am not about trying to teach women how to make a man fall in love with her, by using some, fancy phrase or some catchphrase or, what she can do, how she can dress, what she can say. That's not what I'm about. I'm not about teaching men how to make a woman fall in love with him by giving him certain cute phrases that he could use or things that he can do. That's ridiculous. That's just so bizarre to me. It's not what I'm about. And so, Angelica, you pose a really serious question, and I think that a lot of people struggle with this question: how can I make a man fall in love with me? And the answer is, you don't want to make a man fall in love with you, dear one. There are a ton of men you don't want to fall in love with you. Trust me, I've dated a lot of them. What you want is to be able to fall in love with yourself. Why? Because you can't attract a man that has the ability to love you or the desire to love you until you learn to love yourself. And no, you cannot attract love if you don't feel worthy of love and if you do not love yourself. Sure, you can get married. You can have children. I mean, when I left college or I was in college, one of the things that I wanted was to get married. But my vision for happiness was very limited. What I should have wanted was to attract an amazing, wonderful relationship. That's really what I should have been going for. But instead, I said, oh, I just want to be married and I want to have a child and I want to have a house. And we can manifest those things, absolutely. But that doesn't mean you're going to be happy. That doesn't mean that you're going to feel love. That doesn't mean that you're going to experience a long-lasting, committed, respectful relationship. So, Angelica, to answer your question, I'm going to be very frank. You have to become love. We must become that which we seek to experience. For those of us who follow Esther Hicks and the law of attraction, and many of you who follow my work also follow Esther Hicks and also are into the law of attraction. And what Esther Hicks teaches is that you have to really, you have to resonate with what you want to desire. I look at it a little differently. I say I have to become that which I want to attract. So that means if I want to attract a loving partner, that means that I have to be loving to myself. If I want to attract someone who is respectful, I have to learn to respect myself. If I want to attract somebody who has empathy for me, I have to learn to have empathy for me first. If I want someone who is going to not be critical of my body and appreciate my body, then I have to become that first. I have to develop those ideas about my body image first. I have to become accepting of my body image first. And so certainly, if you've had if you have suffered narcissistic abuse by dad, if you have suffered emotional abuse by dad, if you have suffered psychological abuse by dad, if you have felt unprotected by a codependent mom who perhaps did not intervene on your behalf when it came to your dad using psychological abuse on you and being verbally abusive towards you, then you have these wounds on your heart space. And what I want you to understand, dear one, is that we must become that which we desire. You have to begin resonating at the frequency of what you desire. This relationship that you're seeking has to start with you. So you make a man fall in love with you by loving yourself first. And remember, you don't want any man, you want the right man. You want a man that resonates with you. You want a man that is not like your father, right? So that means that we have to help you not resonate with men like your father. So that means you really have to heal at a subconscious level. You have to shift your vibrational set point. You have to heal your heart space. And so you might know that dad was a narcissist. You might know that his criticisms of you were wrong, but that doesn't mean you've been able to heal that wound that his critical eye created within your heart space. You might know that dad is an alcoholic and has had affairs, but that doesn't mean you have healed the wound of feeling unseen or unsafe on your heart space. You might know that mom is codependent and has acquiesced to dad her entire life and has taught you not to have boundaries. You might know that cognitively, but that doesn't mean the wounds that being raised in a codependent narcissistic home have been healed in the heart space. Those wounds are still there. Now, it's also important to understand that our heart gives off a wider range of frequency than our brain does. So our brain gives off brain waves and our heart gives off waves too, energetic waves too. And we kick out a frequency that's about 8 to 10 feet out all the way around. We have this orb of energy that we travel in. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Just imagine that you have these particular bands of light that you're emitting off that you can't see, these waves and these bands of vibrational frequencies. And these waves have these like X's on them, and the X represents the wound of not feeling seen, the wound of feeling bad about your body, the wound of not feeling good enough. It's a universal wound. I'm not enough. I am not enough. So imagine that you're emitting this frequency from your heart space. Now you're interfacing with the invisible but very sensitive matrix. Now, what we emit must get mirrored back to us in this time-space reality. That's the way our reality works. There's great work and great science being had and discovered in this field. I recommend the work of Robert Lanza, Lanza, and he is proving that we create our reality as we go. So my now experience, right, which is based on my past wounds, who I am today, I'm carrying these wounds that have not yet been healed. And the frequency that I'm emitting is creating my future as I go. So relationship after relationship will fall apart because I don't feel worthy of it. In your experience, you're having relationships, but nothing substantial. You've had sex, but nothing substantial. So the frequency that you're giving off makes sense. Your father is someone who has seen women as sex objects and has sex with obviously lots of women. He's married and he's had all these affairs. So I'm not surprised that you're able to have relationships and get intimate or sexual with men, but you're not able to form a lasting bond with them. Now that mirrors your relationship with your father, being that you know that he sees women as sexual objects and nothing really substantial or worthy. And it's mirroring how you see your father or see men. what we have to do is we have to help you heal yourself, see these faulty ideas and these faulty beliefs that your father and your mother have helped create within your heart space. I'm not worthy to be protected. I'm not worthy to be loved. I'm not worthy to feel seen. I'm not worthy to be respected. I'm not worthy to be nurtured. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy to be talked to. I'm not worthy to have a real relationship with. I have to help you embrace these feelings, get back in touch what it felt like when you were experiencing those wounds, so that you can process them and allow them to come out of your body. We have to learn to sit in discomfort for longer periods of time and not freak out consciously and psychologically when we begin to feel a negative emotion. Emotions are always trying to flow, and they're always trying to get out of our body. Negative energy is always trying to be released so that we can grow. But our mind prevents our conscious field from being able to tolerate anxiety and tolerate fear and tolerate guilt and tolerate shame. When we're dealing with feelings of shame, the goal is to tap into it, acknowledge it, accept it, say namaste to it. If you're experiencing shame, you have to understand that's not your fault. Your father handed you a shame sandwich. He said, "Here, Angelica, eat this sandwich." And you said, "Yum, yum, 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 yum." And you ate it because you were his child. You absorbed that energy. But now it's time to let that shame process through you, and excrete it, what I'm saying, and get it out of you. I don't want to get gross. But we do have that ability to eliminate shame from our bodies once we learn to say namaste to the shame and to the fear and to the anxiety. And we learn to sit in our bodies for longer periods of time and experiencing the pain while we say namaste to the pain and namaste to the grief and namaste to the shame. We breathe through it like in yoga. I have a great yoga teacher, and she says, "Is that a good pain or is that a bad pain?" She's like, if it's a good pain, it's pain that you can breathe through. And so if it's a really sharp pain, you want to kind of come out of the pose. But I use it as an analogy when I'm dealing with clients to help them heal. And it's a matter of learning how to sit in our pain and breathe through it so that our bodies can energetically release it. So the more you release the shame that you have around your body, I would say sit in front of a mirror and look at your body and say, my body is beautiful. The right man is not going to be concerned with the size of your breast. So, and not all men are breast men, okay? Not that that matters. There really is a man out there that is looking for a wonderful, wonderful being. Angelica, he's looking for you. The goal is for you to become attuned with love. The goal is for you to be able to let go of this shame. Because if you're dating and you're thinking, oh, he's never going to want me because I have small breasts, you're giving off that frequency. And there could be an awesome guy standing next to you at Whole Foods who couldn't give a rat's ass about, the size of a woman's breast, is just tired of getting kicked around by narcissistic women and really wants a kind, loving, warm woman. And they are out there. I coach these guys. They exist, ladies. I'm telling you, they exist. I'm telling you. And so, however, if you have this wound, my breasts are too small, my breasts are too small, men only want me for sex, it's all about sex, and I can't be seen as someone who's worthy of love. That's the frequency you're giving off. Thank you, Dad. And unfortunately, those are the men that you're going to attract. So, Angelica, I can't tell you how to get a man to fall in love with you, except to help you understand that having someone fall in love with you or love you has to do with you learning to fall in love with you first. All love starts with self-love. And so if you want a man to love you for you, then you have to know that you're worthy of love. You have to love you. I also suggest in my coaching programs and with private clients, and I think in Codependent now also, that practice being out in nature and practice sending everything that you see love. I went food shopping the other day and I was looking around at all these people, and I was standing there on the grocery line saying, all of these people are my brothers and my sisters and I love them. And they might not see me that way, but that doesn't have to prevent me from loving them. And I deliberately, while I was standing there online waiting to pay for my groceries, I was just sending every single person I saw love. Every tree I see, I send love. Every tree is a part of me. I breathe off I breathe off carbon dioxide, and trees breathe in carbon dioxide, and they breathe out O2. They breathe out oxygen. Are you kidding me? Our trees, our grass, they are a part of us. And that's something to love. So practice the vibration of love. Practice loving yourself. Practice accepting yourself. Tell yourself over and over and over that the right man who's going to love me for me exists, and he is on his way to me now. Push back the fear, but accept the fear. Feel the fear, and then be willing to let it go. Thank you, Angelica, for watching. And for those of you who are interested in learning more about what I do, you can visit www.lisaaromano.com. I also have a membership site that is full of tools that are all about recovery. And you can find out more about it by going to https://bit.ly/Lisa A. Romano. I bow to the love and the light in you. Bye for now.